Hey, everybody. Welcome back to another smoking hot segment of the hottest college football show in the nation, the Texas Two-Step.
Bang.
Both of the Mats will be on the road this week during games. So we're going to each go to do our best to watch games. I'll be at a wedding. What are you going to Canada for?
Laura earned an incentive trip, so she's got a free hotel room up in Banff at the Fairmont.
Interesting. Does that mean you have like activities and stuff, or do you get to watch TV?
It's great because she's gonna be activities all Saturday. I land in Canada about 11, so I should be able to catch starting the 2:30 games. They're on out, and I'm on my own pretty much.
Go to the hotel bar or something?
Yeah, I've already Googled top 10 sports bars in Banff. So I found.
Oh wait, how many are you gonna hit?
We'll see. We'll see how it goes. If I get to the bar at 2:30 and Kansas is up at halftime, then I'm probably switching.
This part sucks. Oh, Canada. That's awesome.
Yep.
All right, so I'll be in San Antonio. It'll be significantly different weather than what you're experiencing, I assume. But A&M kicks off at 11 a.m., so wedding is not till that afternoon, evening. And I know the rule. Who has a wedding during football season? But I actually did, so I'll just have to deal with it. But
they're Courtney's friend, right?
No, it's Frank. It's
Frank.
I know, but
a future special guest on the show.
Yeah, that's right. I dodged a bullet with my wedding because Baylor played and A&M played early in the day as it just was. And I don't know if I ever told you, I emailed the commissioner of the Big 12, and I actually got a response from him the entire year before saying, "Hey, I'm planning a wedding." I should find the email, but
you should. I know. I never knew that.
Yeah,
and I'd forgotten it was on. Yeah. I forgot it was.
And it's like the schedule release. He's like, I get this all the time. College fans. He said something about it was difficult because A&M was going to be going to the SEC the next year, so they had mixed it all up, and they didn't actually have the predictive schedule out. So I had nothing, but got lucky. The game didn't. The game kicked off early, so same for Frank this year. So I'll be at like Pat O'Brien's or something on the Riverwalk watching A&M, and then probably.
You need to find that. I would like to see that.
It's Dan Beebe's old when he was the old commissioner.
That's right.
That's funny. All right. So we're gonna make this quick. We're gonna run through. Yep. We'll basically cover top 10 games coming up. We've got some interesting ones. Maybe not just some super hard hitting games like last week, but we have at least 5 ranked games, right?
It's when you look at it holistically, it's actually kind of enticing little week. Mm-hmm. I mean, compared to last week when you had that many ranked matchups, but I think down the board, it's got some intriguing ones, and it's even got some intriguing ones that we're not really going to cover. Just looking down on it, so yeah, it's
sifting out. Like we're still in this position of who's elite. Is there an elite? Like even like an LSU Ole Miss, that's going to separate 2 West teams that are both ranked. Are they both good? Are they both not good? What does that mean for Bama's win last week? Who goes on the road to play Mississippi State? Can Bama blow them out, or is Mississippi State going to hang tight? And what does that mean?
Yeah, I mean, West Virginia at TCU. I mean, pretty large spread, but that's not on our list. But I mean, that's both 2, 3, and 1 teams.
Wow.
So, yeah, I think it's pretty good. It's pretty good buffet this week.
It is. I mean, from the personal side of things, I'm gonna have to be watching A&M, considering that Max Johnson now looks to be the starter for the rest of the year. Given new insights as to Connor Wegman's foot injury was a little bit more severe. I guess it was second X-rays showed to be some hairline fracture or something, so they're just not going to do it.
Well, let's get to that. I got thoughts on that, but let's start with our kind of top 5 that we laid out beforehand.
Top 5 games of the week, or let's do top 5 games of the week, and do our picks, and then we'll talk about maybe that bottom 5, just some thoughts on it. And
we'll hit on.
All right, Top
Okay.
5. What do you got? Fifth best game.
So tomorrow night, I really wish this game was tonight because, like I said, Laura's out of town and I've got nothing better to do. But Utah at Oregon State. Oregon
Right.
State -4.5.
Right.
And I have not seen if Cam Rising is playing right now. I got to assume he probably is at this point, but if he doesn't play,
Yeah, no.
I think you got to ride Oregon State kind of the whole way.
I would agree with that.
I think this is going to be kind of like a rainy kind of northwestern kind of game too, which really goes in the favor of Oregon State to play D and ground and pound. I think 4.5 is a little steep though for that kind of game, but I still think I picked Oregon State to come out of the Pac-12. This is the game they got to win.
So Cam Rising at this point kind of feels like fool's gold. It's like ever since week 2, he's going to play. No, he's not. He's going to play. No, he's not. And now it's really just we don't know.
Yeah.
Utah's got that top 10 scoring defense. Oregon State's got a top 20 offense. They are in Corvallis. It does seem like Oregon State's playing with that chip on her shoulder. Put it in this perspective. Like if you're Oregon State and you got Utah who decides or who finally gets into a Power 5 conference, and within like 3 or 4 years that conference is imploding and they actually get to go to a Power 5.
And they're part of the reason for it.
Like, what the hell? We've been here the whole time and nobody wants us.
Yeah.
So I think Oregon State's kind of on that, like, and we saw it with Washington State, right? They came out hitting harder last week than we thought and gave Oregon State the loss, but I think they want blood.
Yeah, no, I definitely think that will play a factor into it too. I guess if you're Utah, you maybe know that the Pac-12 is so strong this year, you may have a mulligan. So you always have that maybe in the back, like, yeah, sure, we went to Corvallis, they're good, but we didn't have Cam, we lost. And then maybe next week you play Cam. And then maybe that's what you're looking for, because you know you rush him back too early and something happens and then you're screwed the rest of the year. So I don't know.
And it's a road game.
And it's a road game.
The rest of their schedule.
Yeah. No, I again, 4.5 is a lot against Oregon, but I think I would still take Oregon State and lay the points.
Pretty crazy world. We're over here picking Beavers.
Yeah.
Especially as against a top 10 team. Man, I wish I could do the if he's playing, if he's not playing, but I'm gonna go with Utah here, given that Oregon State probably showed some weakness last week against what I would have assumed to be a lesser Washington State team, and I think Utah's a pretty good team. I think defense wins games, and again, I'll probably just go with the odds that Cam Rising plays.
Yeah, that boy at Washington State though can play,
no doubt.
That's gonna be a fun Apple Cup if he can stay healthy.
Yeah. All right, number 4 game.
Yeah. I guess I'll go down the list. Kansas at our boys, -16.5.
Wow.
Like I said earlier in the week, I've already got money on Kansas. I got 17.5, so that line's already come down a little bit. I mean, on paper, there's a reason it's a 17 point spread. I expect a lot of points. Something around 42, 24, 27, something like that. I think at some point when you're that kind of a quarterback at Kansas, I mean, he can make some plays.
Mm-hmm.
He can make some plays. This is Kansas Super Bowl. It's like we're gonna say every week about Texas. That being said, this team, Texas team, feels different than what it has in the years past. I don't think this is a look-ahead game to Oklahoma. In years past, I probably absolutely could say that. Maybe last week kind of gave me a little sense of false hope, not playing down to Baylor. And I think Baylor's were really bad, but they stomped on the throat and could have been a lot worse. Had a couple fumbles. But I do think the Kansas quarterbacks give him a little problems. a few problems. He's going to make some plays.
Yeah.
It's just he's too good. That being said, you can really attack this Kansas team up the middle, which is where the defense is really strong at for Texas, up the middle on both sides of the ball too, on an offensive side, and I think run the ball. I was seeing that Jonathan Brooks has got like the 5th most broken tackles or missed tackles in the season. So again, like I think 17 is a great number. Just a question on which side you're on. Again, Texas to win, but for my wallet's sake, I'll take a 16-point game or 17-point game.
Gotcha. Yeah, I would. I'm probably going to use the Baylor game as the springboard into the decision because exactly like you said, they could have played down, but they did not. Therefore, it feels a little bit different. Don't know if they'll get caught. Like, I don't know if this is going to be a trap game. And the reason I would say I don't think it's going to be a trap game is basically because of what happened 2 years ago in Austin. Nobody wants to relive that. Not when you've got the opportunity in front of you. You could probably look ahead to Oklahoma, but you're looking ahead to Oklahoma as this is what we need to be undefeated when we go and play that game. So we can really bring it to them because Oklahoma's probably going to. I don't know why all of a sudden I feel like Oklahoma's in my feed as if look how great they are. Average points, 9 points on average being scored against. Now, they've played nobody, but Oklahoma's going to be up for that game, and they're going to be expecting to kind of come in and be the underdog there. So I think Texas will be prepared there. I'm gonna not take the points though because I do think Kansas, Jalen Daniels is pretty good. I think they'll just play a really good game. Yeah, I just think Texas will be able to control it, just like you said, run the game, run the ball.
Yeah, no, I think you made a good point that if I'm Sark, I'm blaring that game 2 years ago. I'm showing it nonstop in the locker room for sure.
Yeah.
Right?
They're just saying like use that play with the idea of what regret is, and nobody wants to live with regret.
Yeah. I don't want to spend too much time on this game because I just feel again everyone, their moms, it's almost gotten to the point now. Colorado's a great story,
right?
But I just don't want to hear about it every time I turn on a TV. That being said, I think Colorado plays better than they did last week, but I think USC plays better, especially on offense. And I think 21.5 points is not enough. So give me USC by like 28.
The fans will be there. The weather will be good. Travis Hunter's still not playing. And it's been said by other people this week, Colorado can't just be a 3 or 4 player team. Where are the other players? Who else is going to step up? Why do they not? I forget the name, the freshman 5-star that has given field and Deion saying it's because he's not studying. The thing is, like, if you got that guy on the team, and I think that, look, he's transparent. He said it in a press conference, but that actually exposes a little bit of an issue. If you are this incredible, and I'm not saying he's not, but the point is that if you can inspire and you can motivate and you can get people to play up and then you can recruit and you've got 5-stars coming in, you're going to stick to your guns, which is great, but yet they won't see the field because they're not coming to the locker room. The thing is, that is probably some exposure to what a lot of schools like Texas and A&M have dealt with over the years is you recruit the heck out of 5-stars, but if they're coming in with bad attitudes like they just landed on a gold mine and they don't put in the work, a coach maybe like Charlie Strong or your Tom Herman or anybody, Sumlin, it's like we still let them see the field, but they're not putting in the work, and then they're just kind of like bad apples. So I'd say for Deion, but that means they've got talent that's not going to see the field. And Shedeur Sanders got sacked 7 times.
Yeah,
that's probably not going to happen against USC. But my point is, like, they don't have anybody on the offensive line that's like stepping up doing anything.
I think I saw a couple quick things and we'll move on. I think I saw a stat that USC actually has the best pass rush without blitzing in the country in terms of sacks and tackles for loss. So they're not going to have to really blitz that much.
Okay.
But they are weak in the secondary, especially tackling. So that's something to kind of watch in the game. Good for Deion, sort of put his money where his mouth is. He came in with all these kind of principal things: treat women right, go to class, be a good man, be a good father, and good for him for kind of staying up for that in a way.
Travis Hunter play. You saw that, right?
I don't think Deion's gonna let him play.
But I mean, did you see he read the text to the crowd?
Yeah.
Or like
I don't think Deion lets him play. I
think he said he wasn't going to. So yeah, I would agree. He puts the morals over the wins.
Even so, still give me USC. Give me 28 points. So what do you like?
Yeah, I'll take the spread. If Oregon can put up 81 on whoever they played, like No Name School in week 1, and then they can put up 35 and a half and probably could have made it significantly worse for Colorado against that defense. Absolutely, I think USC is going to put up the points.
Yep. Okay, Notre Dame -5.5 at Duke. Prime time at Duke. Man, this is a tough one.
One's a tough one.
I gotta think. I like Notre Dame.
Yeah.
I'll regret that. I'll be like, man, I was stupid if Duke pulls us out. I just like Notre Dame and that squad. I think they're going to be just a little more physical. I think they'll just be able to lean on Duke a little bit more than say Clemson could. And again, I still think Clemson blew that game against Duke with all the fumbles. So
100%.
So I'm taking Notre Dame and the points.
I don't think last week's Clemson team loses to Duke.
Nope.
They play it again.
I agree.
So I think they tighten things up. I think Duke played a great game, and that might have been their only great game. I think Notre Dame is reeling. I think they're lucky they only dropped 2, but they know they should have won that game. They collapsed. The fan base felt it. There's going to be Irish at this game. Game day is going to be there. Duke will probably show up, but they're not a football school. It's not going to be just like, I think there'll be plenty of Irish fans who put it in the stands.
Yeah.
I think Sam Hartman's a man on a mission. I think he wants the Heisman. I think he went to Notre Dame for a reason. I think he'll play spectacularly, and I think they will play every down with 11 men on the field.
They better.
I take them, and I'll take them by 2 scores, actually.
They better. Yeah, I still think Notre Dame's probably a better team than Ohio State too. But I mean, it's sour grapes, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay, so you got Indy -5.5 too. Okay, last one for the big one of the year. Again, tough one. LSU -2.5 at Ole Miss. Running Reds.
Yep. I'm going to take LSU by the points because I think what we saw by Ole Miss last week was not amazing. Although that was on the road. That was in Tuscaloosa now that I think about it. That's crazy. That's a tough one. 2.5.
Is there a bigger Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde team than LSU?
Yeah, see, that's where I'm still not of the opinion that they played so awful against Arkansas. I just think Arkansas played their best game. And I think they do that year in and year out. Maybe their defense isn't that good. They still, what was the score? Still like 40-38, something really high scoring.
Last week, 34-31.
Is that all it was?
Yeah.
Let's see. The over here in this game, 67.5. Okay, 67.5. I mean, I'm taking the over on this because I think both of these offenses will score points. I think that's really the conversation is LSU's defense actually bad? That might actually be the biggest indicator, which would be interesting considering LSU.
Yeah.
Jane Daniels is good.
My inclination is to go LSU. However, I think I believe the Ole Miss defense is a little bit better than what we would have gone in the season thinking. I think Lane's going to leave anything in the playbook this week. So night game, Vaughn Hemingway, it's just, I think, one of those years in the SEC that Bama's going to be Ole Miss, and Ole Miss is going to be LSU. LSU is going to be A&M. A&M's going to be Ole Miss. Like, I think like we're going to have like a little bit of West chaos at the end of the season.
And that might be the case, but for that reason, then LSU, in order to stay in playoff conversation, cannot lose this game. And for Ole Miss to stay in SEC West conversation, they cannot lose this game.
Well, also part of the reason that in our top 5 games, I don't want to pick all favorites.
Yeah. It does kind of feel like that year. There's been plenty of upsets.
I think give me the Ryan Rebs. Give me the Ryan Rebs.
Okay.
I just think LSU's just been too inconsistent for me. I don't think Mississippi State's that good, so I'm gonna and then despite the Arkansas game, you're at home. That's a game that talent-wise you should have won by 20 points. So I'll take the Ryan Rebs.
All right.
Right.
I'm gonna say I want the Rebs to win, but I'm gonna take LSU.
Yeah.
And I'll take the points because it's only 2.5.
Yep. Okay, now we'll run down the rest of them really quick because I gotta go pick up Travis.
All right.
Soccer practice. Interesting. Florida at Kentucky. Kentucky -1, and that line has been moving. I think it opened like Kentucky like -4, and that line's moving towards Florida.
Could have easily been a top 5 game.
I like Kentucky.
It's really interesting because it is on the road for a ranked Florida team who at the beginning of the year we're saying, not good again.
I like Kentucky. I like him at home. It's essentially a pick 'em game. I like Kentucky.
I don't see any reason not to pick Kentucky. With that short of a line at home, Kentucky, again, will try to prove things. Mark Stoops continues to show that he's a great coach for Lexington. The matchup's going to be Kentucky's run game against Florida's defensive front, but I'll just take I'll take the ground and pound winning the line of scrimmage for Kentucky to win the game.
All right. The Deep South's oldest rivalry, UGA at War Eagle. UGA's -14.
Just what we saw from Alabama last week. I know they supposedly have a decent defense, but I saw nothing to assume that they're going to score points on Georgia, who I think they're doing what Georgia did last year. Like, we had this conversation with Georgia last year. It's like, they're only up by 3 on South Carolina State in the third quarter, and then they blow them out. And they did the same thing for South Carolina. That's what everyone wants to point at and say, they had a scare. They didn't have a scare. They just took a nap for the first half and then poured it on them. I have zero concerns, and I don't think Georgia wants to get bounced from the #1 rating. So Kirby's in the locker room going, "You guys want to play 4 quarters this week or not?" And I think they'll play.
Like we said, the first string Auburn quarterback is bad. The second string Auburn quarterback is bad. The third string Auburn quarterback is bad. They have bad quarterbacks.
Yeah.
And they will not move the ball. I think I saw the team total was 10 for Auburn. I don't know how they get to 10 points.
Right.
So I think Kirby Smart has been getting a lot of questions in the press this week about why I look all UGA to just
be there this game.
Maul them.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So I've actually already hit that for the week. So
all right.
Okay. So that we'll come back to that last game. Michigan -17 at Nebraska.
That's a lot for this Michigan team who's yet to really show up. And I think Matt Rule is a good coach, so I expect Nebraska to show up at some point. I'll take Michigan to win, but I'm not taking those points.
I think Nebraska is bad. However, Michigan is 0-4 against the spread right now. And going to Lincoln, I think they'll play. I think the fans. I think it'll be a little bit different atmosphere. I could see something kind of and I guess they switched quarterbacks a couple games ago. He's been playing better, not turning the ball over for Nebraska. So I would like it better 17.5, but give me Nebraska 17-2 plus 17-2.
All right.
Yep, same thing. But I do think Michigan still wins.
I don't really think that's another game I'm going to watch. I would expect #7 Washington to walk all over Arizona, even though it's on the road. So I suppose that's a game of interest. See how they play on the road because all eyes on Michael Penix
Yeah, I think Arizona's quarterback is out too. And Washington, I mean, I think it's a legitimate argument. The best team in the country at
Yeah.
this point of the season is Washington. They are
Very,
the number one team in the country
very well could be.
because they play with. Yeah, I cashed them hard last week. I'm going to ride Washington again too, -20. South Carolina at Tennessee. Tennessee -12. A little bit interesting there.
It will be. South Carolina seems to be a worse team than last year, but at the same time, last year was they surged at the end of the year. So the only thing here, I still can't imagine. I can't believe that Tennessee is not just like pouring on points
Yep.
like they were last year. But you know that they want redemption after what South Carolina did because they derailed them last year, and they beat them bad, which is odd.
South Carolina, but maybe the best 2-2 team in the country. I think they found something last week, and even the week playing Georgia. So I don't like Spencer Rattler. He's all, hey, little Brooksy. Spencer Rattler again will always be at the top or near the top of the all-time punch list. But give me South Carolina +12.
Wow. Okay.
All right, and last one.
Yeah.
Your boys. Now let me say this.
Okay.
Okay. I texted you that when we found out Wegman was out. The line has not moved. It was before 6, it was 6.5. How much disrespect is that towards Wegman or towards Arkansas?
Well, it's Arkansas, and I really think if he had gone out the end of last game, different story. Max Johnson came in and put up like a 92 QBR. He's a fifth-year senior. His brother's an exceptional tight end. His dad's a Super Bowl champion. He was a starter for LSU. I don't think a lot of people are looking at Max Johnson going, who's this guy? I think they look at the firepower of the offense. This guy is 6'6" and runs pretty fast too. The offensive line's going to protect him. I think that's just kind of like looking at it. I wouldn't say it's overly disrespectful to Wegman, even though I think you could take it to a degree because he's still leading the conference in completions, but I don't think anyone's respecting Arkansas, even though they played really well last week.
Max Johnson.
I'm more worried. I'll say this. I would rather have Wegman play in the game, but I'm not. It's not last year's situation. Last year when it was like, what's our quarterback situation? My biggest concern now is, well, what happens if number 2 gets hurt? Because that happened last year. 1 and 2 got hurt.
You cannot tell me or convince me that Max Johnson is anywhere close to the quarterback Connor Wegman is.
Nope, that's what I just said. I'm kind of worried.
So to tell me that this is an equal matchup, like regardless of who quarterback is playing,
yeah,
I don't buy it. So if you're telling me I can get 6.5, I can get 6.5 points without Connor Wegman, I'm going to take that all day. I still don't know if Arkansas wins. I do think A&M may just outclass them talent wise, but give me 6.5 points. Give me Pig 6.5 points for sure. Because I just don't think the team. I would be shocked if A&M comes out of the West at 7-5 with Max Johnson.
Oh, I'll take that.
Okay.
We'll
bet a beer on it.
Yeah, I think it could cost us a game. I think it could cost us a game.
Okay.
Like depending, and maybe it costs us more depending on just how great the offense was playing. Like maybe now we've lost that opportunity to beat Alabama, but again, we're looking at like how good is this Alabama team, and they are coming to College Station. We do have to go to Knoxville, but again, how good's Tennessee? Like I think a lot of this is just like, well, I don't know how good is anybody. It might not be that big of a deal because Max Johnson, why would he be bad? He's not. He's just not. But yes, Connor Wegman was.
But he couldn't. How long has he been there? For 2 years, and he can't crack the starting job.
Well,
he let a freshman come in and take the starting job from him twice, or this year and so.
Red shirt.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
What's up, Cubby?
He transferred because he was getting replaced at LSU.
Yeah.
He had to replace that Niedermeyer guy, but then he was going to get replaced. He wanted to play with his brother. I would agree, but I'm just saying, like, maybe it was actually a close quarterback battle. Wegman seems to play very well in games. And Max Johnson played very well last year until he broke his thumb. But I'm happier this year. I know. Yeah, I know. I'm happier this year than last year. I also don't know who QB3 is.
Hey, you got the excuse built in this year. We didn't have Weggy. The excuse is already there
that's
now.
that asterisk. I know. If he's out all year, I mean, that's another year of eligibility, which is crazy.
All right, man.
Okay.
That was fun.
Good run. We'll talk to everybody. Well, early next week. We'll break it all down again.
Drive safe and tell Frank congratulations.
Okay. Hi, TV.
All right, later.
Bye.
Hi, Cubby.